Hey, Tom here. Take a look at this pattern real quick. It's been 3 weeks since Bitcoin has halved, and I want to talk about what this pattern is because it has a lot to do with halving. But before I get into that, let's talk about what halving is. So simply put, new Bitcoin can only be created through a process called mining. This is done when several computers are solving difficult math equations. And each time your computer solves these equations, you're rewarded with something called a block reward. Now, this started out at 50 Bitcoin. Every 4 years, this reward got cut in half, slowing the supply of new Bitcoin into the market. And its last halving happened just last April. So in the very early days of Bitcoin, you could mine using a laptop or a desktop computer. But as the coin grew, it steadily became harder to mine new coins, requiring more and more powerful computers. Take a look at this one. This is typically what's called an ASIC computer. Now, it's a specifically tuned computer that just does one thing, mines Bitcoin. And this is the exact type of computer I use to mine a substantial amount of Bitcoin right from my garage. Now, let me be clear. I wish I had done this when the 50 Bitcoin reward was around, but by the time I figured it all out, the first halving had begun, and so the reward dropped to 25 Bitcoin. That's still not bad. But secondly, the chance of a single miner solving a block with one computer was even hard to do back then. So I pulled my resources together with other miners, and when we solved an equation together, we split the rewards among us based on processing power. This is an example of a Bitcoin pool that I used. This was called slush pool. And so the way it works is the harder your machine worked as part of a group, the larger percentage you got once you hit digital pay dirt. Now, a lot's changed since 2013 when I was mining. These days, a single ASIC computer used to mine Bitcoin can run into the thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars, and you need several of these machines and some cheap electricity before you start to see major profits. To add to that, block rewards, they're much lower today. Now they're down to 3.125 Bitcoin from just 6.25 last month. And eventually, no new Bitcoin will be mined when the total supply reaches 21 million. But that won't happen until around the year 2140. Now look at this chart. According to Glassnode, those who buy and hold longer than a year is around 65%, which guess what? This effectively decreases the supply even more. Why is this all important? Well, the laws of supply and demand tell us that the combination of less new supply Bitcoin coming to market, the more people holding long-term, and the rise in demand of Bitcoin and Bitcoin products like spot ETFs is uniquely bullish. And above all these halving things have done is led to some of the largest rallies in the coin and other cryptocurrencies for more than a decade. And while price action has been spotty shortly after each halving, we're watching the major patterns. You see here, back to this chart that I showed you at the beginning of the video. In the months following each halving, the coin has never closed below its 200-day moving average. So take a closer look. You can see here in each of the 4 sessions in 2012, 2016, 2020, and of course, where we're starting now in 2024, we've either stayed above that 200-day, or if we have dropped down, was there for a very, very short time. So in summary, Bitcoin's current 200-day moving average sits around 50,000. It's a key indicator we'll be following closely in the coming weeks and months. If the coin tests it or even dips slightly below it, that could make for a great buying opportunity in Bitcoin and the rest of cryptocurrency, as I expect a huge rally as we head into 2025. So stay tuned.